Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch scores after taking a mulligan. In the wake of breathtaking kayfabe and spin typical of 19th hole watering hole discussions after a round of golf, Quincy Mayor Thomas P. Koch kicked the ball into the hole to score approval of 50-year lease extension added onto a lease with over 30 years to go by all but invariably compliant Quincy City Council. In turn, the lease extension is now headed for consideration as a home rule petition by denizens of the State House on Beacon Hill. The driving need for pursuing a home rule petition is that the lease extension ask entails scoring all manners of waivers of Massachusetts general law to see extension approved. In turn, given withering as well as extensive valid criticisms of the proposal at a public hearing on the matter last week, all manner of late changes to the still-pending lease extension were proposed, basically on the fly so as to effect ameliorating at least some of the legitimate criticisms. In other words, various of the revisions would appear to be perfunctory at best. For example, one change was that the lessee of City of Quincy land, where it operates a high-end golf course, cannot sell their leasehold to a third party without the city's approval. After all, what does this change matter, as when was the last time a generous contributor to the mayor's campaign fund was turned down on an ask for a variance, another sort of a waiver, or some other sort of a solid? Other changes posed by the mayor's minions were similarly as well unsurprisingly thin. Case in point, finally perhaps seeing the Quarry Hills sports fields and especially hiking trails that were supposed to be in good order, and cared by the lessee from the get-go over a decade ago, per the terms of the original lease, now appear to not be assured to be in good order until 2030 per a reasonable hearing of the relevant revised text within the proposed new lease's compliance terms for the lessee. Unaddressed, however, was duly spanking the lessee for various defaults on the current lease's obligations of the lessee that Quincy Quarry News, Financial and Other Affairs Desk census could easily have ended up costing local taxpayers well into at least the low six figures over the years. Further, per Quincy Quarry News outside real estate expert, the range of the defaults on the current lease of city land would typically see a lease terminated, and at best, for the lessee, the lease then renegotiated as opposed to be ending up evicted for cause, per standard practice, when a well-heeled tenant has shorted consideration due the tenant's landlord. Similarly curious, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch looks to have voided any financial claims arising from the defaults, even though as mayor he is fiduciary responsible to all local taxpayers as regards matters financial, as opposed to doing solids for readily arguable special interests who have taken liberties with their contractual obligations. Most curious, however, was how terms tied to the lessee seeking to buy 12 acres of City of Quincy land near the golf course's clubhouse to build a 110-room full-service hotel and underground parking garage to accommodate hotel guests were removed from the revised lease proposal that is now headed to the State House for consideration as a home rule petition. After all, the lease extension request, along with the land sale ask, were predicated upon the considerable investment anticipated to build the hotel, even though the requested lease term is almost 3 times longer than what is allowed per applicable Massachusetts general laws. Now, however, with the land sale and hotel development off the table at this point, one is hard-pressed to come up with a justification for extending the current lease, and which has over 30 years yet to go, as well as that 30 years is, again, the standard lease term limit allowed per applicable Massachusetts general laws. A legitimate justification as far as Quincy residents are concerned anyway.